This objection you sometimes hear about God being arrogant because he demands our worship, which simply means the showing of reverence, respect, and honor, really goes to the very heart of the gospel. We don't want anyone, including God, telling us what to do. We want to be large and in charge, kings of our own castles. And if anyone dares to try to take away our autonomy, well, that's downright arrogant. This goes right to the heart of what sin is, which is wanting to be independent of God and telling him to stay out of our space, which really is the height of arrogance because we're the ones living in his space. We're living in his world, one we had nothing to do with creating. We talked about this in part 2 of our training video, Understanding the Gospel, so I encourage you to check that out. So let's talk about this objection that ruffles some people's feathers. First of all, the or else thing is a very common operating system. In fact, it's how the world works at almost every level, so it certainly isn't something that's unique to Christianity. Every privilege or benefit can be lost if it's abused. I mean, think about getting a loan for a house. A financial institution lets you use their money at a predetermined interest rate, but it comes with a warning. Make your payments in a timely manner, or else your house just might get repossessed. When you get your driver's license, which is a great privilege, it comes with some warnings. Obey the traffic laws, or else you might get cited and fined. Don't drive while intoxicated, or else you could lose your license. This is what parenting's all about. I mean, think about it. Kids live with the or else hanging over them all the time. If they fail to live within the predetermined boundaries set by their parents, there's consequences. So are parents and financial institutions and the legal system arrogant for setting boundaries and then saying to honor them or else? Of course not. Authorities have the right and the power to revoke privileges if conditions are violated, and life just goes better if you stay between the lines. All right, let's talk about arrogance. Arrogance is an exaggerated and overbearing opinion of ourselves for our own benefits. We tend to be insecure, so what we do is we have a tendency to try and make ourselves look better in the eyes of others. We brag, we compare, we put others down to elevate ourselves. We show off our money, we talk about our position, we lie. We do all kinds of things to try to improve our stock in the eyes of others for our own benefit. But God isn't like this. He's already perfect. He's already large and in charge, and he doesn't need our approval and our applause to feel good about himself. I mean, he's really very, very secure. So then why does God want us to worship him? This is so critical to understand. God wants us to worship him, to respect and to honor him for our benefit. God, with all his power and all his authority, he could squish us like a little bug anytime he wanted to, but he doesn't. He wants to use all that he is. He wants to use all that's available to him for our good. He loves us. This is his world. He knows how to make it work, and he wants to walk us through the good and the bad and the ugly of life. He wants to protect us. So he gives us a roadmap to keep us from falling into a ditch. I mean, what a tremendous benefit to have someone like that on our side. But he will never make us worship him. He'll never make us respect and honor him. It has to be our choice. Now, some may go, some kind of a choice if he threatens us with a big old or else. So just what is this or else? The or else is simply doing life without God. God gives every single person the opportunity to do life without the God who holds everything together. To do life without the God who loves them and wants to work behind the scenes for their good. To do life without the God who made the world and knows how to make it work. To do life without the God who has a part for them in his story that will give them incredible meaning and significance. The or else is that God will let every person ultimately have exactly what they want. Life without him forever in a place where all his protection and all his goodness is gone. Now about this time, if this is how the conversation had been going, I'd probably say something like, there's a good chance if you think God's arrogant that you really don't understand who he is and just what it is he makes available to every person. If you have a few minutes, I'd love to show you so that at least you'll have a better understanding. And then if given the opportunity, I'd go ahead and present the gospel. Always remember that we have no idea where a person is on their spiritual journey or where God is in the drawing of that person to himself. It could be that they're right on the edge, and your communicating of the gospel is the very thing that will move them across that line. So step up and always be ready, because the gospel alone is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes.